Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and today I have a very special Jaguar E-Type that I'd like to show you. Come on over and take a look at it. This car is a 1968 Series 1.5 Jaguar XKE. This will be a relatively long video because I have a lot of ground to cover on this car, and I'd like to take the time and tell you the full story. Please take the time and also watch. We do a cold start video with this car, and we do a driving video on this car, which is pretty exciting. And you'll see in the driving video, we just sort of drive off. We stop talking and just keep driving the car because it was such a fun car to drive. But please take the time and watch all three videos so you get as good a sense as you can of what this vehicle is and why I call it a special car. We do have the heritage certificate. It is a numbers matching car. So the car was manufactured January 22nd, 1968. It was dispatched February 14th, 1968 to Jaguar Cars in New York. This is a consignment car for us. The fellow that we are selling the car for is a naval engineer, a naval architect, and that shows in what he did to this car. Highly detailed person, wanted perfection. But I do want to say up front, and I'll repeat it at the end of this video, this is not a Concours level car. So if you're looking for a Concours Jaguar, this is not your car. This is a car that has been modified from the original car. It's had some specific tuning and some suspension tweaks done to it, which I'll go over. It has changed color. So this is currently Clarendon Blue, which is a very, very dark blue. It's gorgeous in person, but it's not a Jaguar color. So let's just start at the top. Let me open the bonnet for you. One of the main things, so the story on the car is that my friend, the naval architect, bought the car in 1990. He got it home and it was a tired old E-Type. Needed a lot of work. So he sent it off to a local place. He lives down in Maryland. So he sent it to a restoration shop in Maryland. They replaced the floors with new metal. They replaced the sills. They stripped everything down to the bare metal, welded it up, painted it. Another friend of his did a relatively quick rebuild on the engine. They started putting the car back together. So that's in 1990. Unfortunately, from 1990 until 2020, he continued to just take the car apart, put it back together, and continually upgrading it and doing it better and better and better. He never drove the car. He never had it finished to actually drive. So he just kept going deeper and deeper into the car. So when it was redone originally, the whole front subframe was unbolted, the tub was restored, and they just kept working on it. So if we take a look with the heritage certificate, the car does have all of its correct numbers here on the data plate, and we will take very clear photographs of all of this and put them in the gallery so you can see it. But the engine number, the body number, the chassis number, gearbox number, they're all here stamped in. I believe this is an original plate. To me, it looks very original to the car. So fast forward then to around 2018. The engine's been rebuilt once, but it's not really performing very well. So he pulls the motor out and he gets in contact with Classic Jaguar down in Texas, who is a very well-known, very high-end restoration shop and engine rebuilding facility. And he commissions them to do a stage 1 rebuild on this motor. It is the numbers matching correct engine. The block has the number stamped on it. The cylinder head does not have a number on it, so I cannot verify that it's the original cylinder head. I'm assuming it's a replacement cylinder head. But this is the book that he got from Team CJ, the place in Texas, and it details what they did exactly to the motor, what they found when they were in there, and they basically found a tired old Jaguar. They line bored it, they put a set of new pistons in it, they built it to their stage 1, which is high performance street version. It's putting out a little over 300 horsepower, It has 3 DCOE 45 Webers lined up. They put performance cams in it. They put a header on it. They balance it. It has a light and flywheel. And you'll see in my test drive, this car is incredible how it runs. It's a completely different animal than a stock E-Type. Very strong torque. It revs like crazy. The motor at this point essentially just has break-in miles. It was run on the dynamometer. It was broken in at the rebuild shop, and then it was installed in the car. So it still is a very, very fresh motor. So the motor itself is a stage 1, a little over 300 horsepower. He also has all the usual wonderful things. It's got headers. He has a modern alternator, aluminum alloy radiator, electric cooling fan, high capacity coil. And then he got to the suspension on the car. The suspension has neoprene bushings everywhere. Here on the sway bar there, upper A-arms, adjustable Coney shocks, all 6 of them, 4 in the back, 2 in the front. During that time period when he was working on the car, these are all the things that he worked on, and he replaced everything on the car. So I mentioned in my driving video how tight this car is and how the handling is enhanced. That's because it's all neoprene and stiffer bushings. He also recently got a set of chrome Dayton wire wheels, which are 6-inch rims, center lace. So these are wider than the stock wheels, and he has Dunlop tires on it. These provide a much wider footprint than the car had originally. The car is being sold with a lot of spare parts, and it's also being sold with the original width chrome wire wheels that go with the car. So the suspension is upgraded, the engine is upgraded substantially, the brake system is upgraded. He put a pair of Wellwood calipers on the front, which I've used Wellwoods and they're wonderful brakes. He also has slotted rotors, so the front rotors are slotted for cooling. The rear brakes are stock Jaguar, stock Jag inboard discs, but they routed nice stainless steel lines as bleeders. And anybody who's bled rear brakes on a Jaguar can appreciate what that means. He also put stainless steel brake lines everywhere else on the car. So very thoughtfully done car, very well done. But again, not concours, not sticking to originality. He built what was his dream Jag. One other thing noteworthy, he did replace the bonnet on the car. The original bonnet had some front end damage. He was not happy with how it had been repaired the first time around with the body shop. So he got a brand new bonnet from England. And when he purchased the bonnet, he had the choice of going covered headlights or not. And obviously, he chose to go with the glass covered headlights. Another deviation, this car did not come with glass covered headlights. But this is a bonnet from England through Moss Motors, and he went with the glass covered headlight conversion, which I think is beautiful on these cars. Of note is when he did the bonnet, he also replaced the picture frame up front where the radiator is on these cars. This frame piece right here which bolts in place. He replaced that, and on the right side is where the E-Types have another VIN number. And I'm pleased to say that he cut out and kept the corner with the original VIN number on it. So this is the correct VIN number for the car that was on the original picture frame. The original picture frame was damaged on the bottom, which happens frequently. They get bent, and he replaced it when he did the front end of the car. And I'm glad to say he kept it. So as we go on, to give you a sense of what this guy is like, we have oodles and oodles of highly detailed receipts of all the things he did to this car, all the different expenses he had over a span of literally 30 years, working and working and working on it and never really completing it. So as we switch for a moment to the cosmetics of the car and how is it today. It recently went in around 2020. He decided to try and wrap the car up, and he took it to Lippincott, which is a well-known Jaguar restoration shop and race shop in Reading, Pennsylvania. Lippincott is who did the final paint work. So this is a Lippincott full paint job. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's relatively new. Lippincott also went through all of the suspension, making sure everything was tight and secure, and went through basically the whole car to make sure it was all done. And it presents today beautifully. We come around here. The interior is a Bartlett interior that he installed in his original period of working on the car. Of course, it's all leather, it's burgundy, has original Jaguar seat belts, the carpeting, the door sills, everything is in very high condition, excellent condition. Gorgeous wood rimmed steering wheel. Interestingly, and I really like this part, he also added electric steering assist. So the steering assist is right under here. You have to look for it to see it, but the car does have aftermarket electric steering assist. I find that's fantastic in cars like this. At slow speed, it's very easy to turn, and then it just goes away at higher speeds. And you have a nice weighted wheel at higher speeds. The dash top, all the switches are working. The radio does not work, and the clock does not work. Those are the two things that do not work. Other than that, everything is functioning as it should. The boot cover is very nice, good condition. The top is excellent condition. The rear window is clear. Door cards are excellent and beautiful. There's no marks anywhere. This car really has not been driven since 1990. It's been that long. His shut seams, his door seams are all quite nice. The original metal work that they did on the car was well done and has held up quite well. In the boot area, it is just as it should be. We have the correct material here on the sides, which is just the cardboard stuff, and then this. We will take photographs of this. We have a correct spare tire under here, and it's all very clean and excellent condition overall. Chrome was all redone as he progressed through the restoration. The lenses, all of this is excellent. No marks on anything. I keep going back to this guy, how detailed he is and how specific he was about the car as he built it. All of this comes with the car. You get the wheel knockoff tool, which is difficult to use, and then you have the real one that works quite well. So this comes with the car in its little bag. We have an original jack. We have an original toolkit with the car. Have a little grease gun, owner's manual. We do have a full car cover. We took pictures of the car cover. Here are the original, well, they're not original because they're newer, but chrome wire wheels in the correct dimension with red line radials. And here we have box 1, box 2, box 3. These are all parts that come with the car. There's another convertible top. And then these two boxes are primarily the original parts that came off the car. The original air box, the original uncovered headlights, original air cleaner. And then this one, we have more. This would go over the valve cover. We have the original brake calipers before they put the Wellwoods on. So this all comes with the car and just gets shipped with it. As we come along the right side of the car, same thing. Chrome was replaced. The door, the shut seams are beautiful, probably better than when it left the factory. This is great. The doors open and close beautifully. Door cards are excellent. All the rocker switches are working properly, which we show in the driving video. Just everything on the car works and works beautifully. So what we have is what I would consider a numbers matching car. Gorgeous condition. It's an interesting car to photograph because the blue is very, very deep and dark, but incredibly handsome in person. The performance of the car, it is so well dialed in. The brakes just really stop it quickly. The steering is very tight. Suspension is quiet. The engine is very smooth and yet has tremendous power. It's the strongest E-Type I've driven on the street. Very tractable motor, very well done by a very reputable engine shop. The bodywork and the final assembly done recently in 2020 to 2023, just a couple years ago, by Lippincott, a very well-known restorer. And the end result is a modified E-Type. But boy, if I were doing one, this is what I would do. It's a dream to drive this car. So if you have any questions, please ask us. We're happy to answer anything and supply any information, take any additional photography of the car. As always, we invite people to come in. Please come and see this car or send someone to come and see it. Lippincott knows about this car. I've contacted the engine builder, so they know the motor. Also, most recently, for us to get it ready, we took it to Proper Noise, which is a specialized shop that we use also in Reading, and just had them go over the car. We changed the suspension height slightly, and Ed Sweeney, who owns Proper Noise, just said it was one of the best running E-Types he's ever driven. So it's a very special car. So thanks for taking the time, watching this rather long video, and hopefully, finally, the car is going to be driven and really enjoyed. Thanks a lot.